The courts might be a little bit spotty when it comes to a whole host of topics, but when it comes to actually enforcing the border, looks like they're pretty decent. Court to block Biden administration from ending Title 42 border order. Huh, interesting. All right then. Federal judge on April 25th is set to block President Joe Biden administration from ending an emergency order that has been helping officials control the U.S.-Mexico border. Somewhat, some kind of way, I guess. U.S. District Judge Robert Summerhays, a Trump appointee, see, that means that he's racist and stuff and he hates Mexicans, told parties during a closed status conference that he intends to grant a motion for a temporary restraining order according to the minutes of the meeting released by the court. The parties will confer regarding the specific terms to be contained in the temporary restraining order and attempt to reach agreement, the court reporter said. Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, a Republican and one of the plaintiffs, celebrated the judge's ruling. Well, it's not quite official yet, but yeah, you can read between the lines. Joe Biden's reckless decision to rescind Title 42 would have flooded our already stressed southern border with illegal immigrants. Fortunately, today, a judge has granted our request to halt this enormous threat to our national security. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt, a big Republican, showed it a big win. I don't know if he's a big guy, probably not. He's a lawyer. Arizona, Louisiana, and Missouri on April 4th lodged a complaint against the government over its announced ending of Title 42, an emergency order that enables immigration agents to quickly expel illegal immigrants because it concerns the immigrants have the COOF. And remember, there's still a pandemic going on. Just don't look outside or, talk with regular people because you wouldn't know. But it's really important that we're still scared and you selectively enforce the different policies that come along with the pandemic. The ones that control things, but the ones that, keep the country safe. We can just let those ones slide. In the motion for the temporary restraining order, the Attorney General noted how U.S. government officials and the Border Patrol Union say the administration is already scaling back its use of Title 42 and told the court that entering the order would force the administration to keep the powers in place while the case is being decided. Federal defendants' monopoly on information about what actions there are taking frustrates both the state's ability to seek relief against the irreparable harms they will otherwise incur and this court's authority to grant relief if it concludes that the termination order is unlawful, the plaintiffs say. Once the order is put into effect, even partially, few, if any, resulting harms can ever be remedied by this court. It is particularly true as money damages are not available, and it is doubtful that this court could effectively rescind unlawful grants of asylum or parole into the United States. Indeed, the irrevocable, big word, nature of the harms of the Title 42 termination will cause is precisely why the bipartisan calls for the abandonment or delay of the order have been so resounding. The Department of Justice declined to comment because they're declining to comment as to the interference of the Biden administration into the probe of Hunter. Well, we got a big old win, and you know what, realistically, this shouldn't be necessary. Okay, Title 42 shouldn't even need to be a thing at this point, okay? Because there's another policy that the Supreme Court, again, they reinforced and they reinstated with their ruling of the Remain in Mexico policy, which they're supposed to be abiding by. But yet, at the same time, because, federal courts handing the administration a big old L. So, the Biden administration urges the Supreme Court to let it drop Remain in Mexico program. You've lost several times over and continuing to complain to the Supreme Court. I don't really know what this is hoping to accomplish. The Biden administration told the Supreme Court on April 26 that it should not have to continue operating the Trump-era Remain in Mexico program that required non-Mexican asylum seekers, just illegal aliens, illegal border hoppers, okay, and at the southern border to wait in Mexico for processing. The case at hand is Biden v. Texas, court file 21-954. The High Court agreed on February 18th to hear the case and appeal from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Southern District of Texas, right? 1 hour is set aside for the hearing, but it ran for 1 hour and 47 minutes upon assuming office. Biden halted enrollments in the program, part of the migrant protection protocols enforced by then-President Donald Trump, which was created to discourage individuals from making fraudulent asylum claims. Yeah, exactly, and stop a whole bunch of human smuggling and drug smuggling. and other illegal activities at the border, it was pretty effective at doing that because you've seen what happened when those policies get rescinded for no real good reason. Again, this policy is supposed to be in place right now, and DHS is not enforcing it because, oh, it's mean. What are you, racist to brown people? These migrant protection protocols, approved by Congress and signed into law during the Clinton administration, so it's been a minute, had not been acted upon until then Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen announced in December of 2018 that they would be implemented. See, it's racist because Trump enforced a law that has been in place since the late 90s. Okay. She said the goal was to curtail the so-called catch and release system in which individuals made fraudulent asylum claims, knowing that they would be let into the United States and able to stay for years before their court appearance, and then just not turn up for the court appearance, and then the border agents in the courtrooms would just throw their hands up and go, oh, I don't know. Under Biden, the Department of Homeland Security issued a memorandum providing that effective January 21st, 2021, it would suspend new enrollments in the migrant protection protocols, pending further review of the program. Aliens who weren't already enrolled in MPP should be processed under other existing legal authorities, or then kicked back over the border for Title 42. And then once old Uncle Joe realized that wasn't a fast food order, he decided to try to rescind it. Days later, Biden signed 3 new executive orders aimed at undoing Trump-era immigration policies. One of the documents, Biden said during a ceremony at the White House, "Where's a full review of previous administration's harmful and counterproductive immigration policies, basically, across the board. Come on, man." But in August of 2021, at the request of Texas and Missouri federal judge Matthew Kacsmaryk of the Northern District of Texas, a Trump appointee, ordered the government to keep in place the MPP policy in effect until it was lawfully rescinded. The Biden administration had failed to properly justify ending the policy and failed to uphold the 1996 law requiring the detention of certain migrants. The trial court judge found the Fifth Circuit sided with the 2 states. And then, it got kicked back up to the Supreme Court earlier this year. Like, even Chief Justice, Janice Roberts, seemed to side with the states when he told Preliger, that was Solicitor General Preliger, while he was sympathetic to the concerns that the government can't detain enough people, it isn't the Supreme Court's problem. So they ended up staying the lower court's order. Ergo, Remain in Mexico should still be in place. So how do they continue to fucking fight this? God, they're useless. But you might have seen at the end of this article right here that, the fight to keep Title 42 in place involved a major bipartisan caucus led by Senators Mark Kelly, a Democrat from Arizona, and James Langford from Oklahoma. All of that's nice and wonderful, right? Bipartisan effort, right? And it's brought out all of the so-called moderates in the Democratic Party to say, oh no, we're border hawks now all of a sudden. It's not like we just found our footing, realizing that a lot of them have elections at the end of the year. But now because, they paid lip service to the fact that, borders are strong and they're very important because that's what our people tell us. And please remember that we supported this without actually having to do anything. But it's time to vote for us, because that would be great. But Ted Cruz makes a very valid point. Every Senate Democrat voted against keeping Title 42 last year. See, when it's an off year, when all of their jobs are theoretically safe for like 18 months, their true colors show. Don't forget that. On Monday's broadcast, the Fox News Radio's Guy Benson show, Senator Ted Cruz reacted to Senate Democrats coming out in opposition to Biden's administration plan to revoke Title 42 by stating that every single Democrat voted against the amendment he offered in 2021 to keep Title 42 in place. Cruz stated, "You got a bunch of Democrats on the ballot in November who are suddenly scared. They've discovered that people don't like chaos, they don't like crime, and they don't like disease. They don't like human suffering and children being physically assaulted, sexually assaulted. Title 42 is one tool remaining that allows adult males to be removed when they pose a risk of spreading the pandemic." I don't think that's how that works, or you're using the right terminology, but whatever. And yet the Biden administration, while trying to enforce illegal vaccine mandates on American citizens, they're trying by hook or by crook, don't know how well it's going to end up working, while trying to impose mask mandates on just about everybody simultaneously, saying if you're an illegal alien, never mind, we'll just let you go and see what happens. And suddenly a bunch of Democrats on the ballot in November realized, wow, the American people don't like this. When they had the chance to vote on it last year, I introduced an amendment to enshrine and to protect Title 42 to ensure that we're protecting public safety. and every single Democrat on the Senate voted no. That means Catherine Cortez Masto in Nevada voted no. That means Mark Kelly in Arizona voted no. That means Raphael Warnock in Georgia voted no. That means Maggie Hassan in New Hampshire voted no. Now, they're trying to run away from that vote. But, notably, they're just giving lame statements to the press. So, they want to give an empty statement to the press, but at the same time, give Joe Biden the green light to undermine our safety even more. I give Ted some shit because, you know what, hey, he's an unreliable ally. A little bit more reliable than other members of the Senate Republicans that are out there. But when the man makes a good point, you can't help but just point at it and be like, no, you raise good arguments, okay? They're just fair weather friends, okay? This bipartisan effort is just a cheap way to just trying to gaslight everybody. Oh no, we're actually here on your guys' side, and we're just not completely out of touch just because we have Democrat at the end of our name. Don't mind any of that stuff. But yeah, we'll see where this goes in the future. We're still having, 200,000 people get fucking caught up at the border, and God knows how many people are getting flued out throughout the country. Shit ain't gonna clear up anytime soon until you install a whole bunch of trebuchets down there at the border and build the fucking wall. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.